From famous actors to ruling royalty, stay tuned to number 1 to find out which famous people married cousins. Number 10. Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick. Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick are two Hollywood icons who both have decades of film and television fame to their names. He is well known for movies like Footloose, All the President's Men, and Mystic River. She starred in the series The Closer, as well as many other films and TV shows. There's even a game called 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon that says everyone is no more than 6 steps away from being connected to the man. Well, in this case, it's actually 9. In the mid-1980s, Bacon and Sedgwick met on the set of the PBS film Lemon Sky and soon fell in love. The two got married in 1988 and are still wed to this day. But years later, in 2011, they were featured on PBS's Finding Your Roots, where it was discovered that they are actually 9th cousins once removed. Okay, pretty distant, fortunately, but it was still a surprise to the couple. In a city where marriages never seem to last longer than a few years, or at least until their new movie is out in theaters, and despite the relation, this marriage keeps going strong. Number 9. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. Royalty has been known for keeping the family lines pure in many cultures around the world. In fact, check out our video on how inbreeding in the royal families led to many genetic mutations. In any case, it should come as no surprise that the current Queen of England is related to her husband too. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were wed in 1947 and are second cousins once removed through King Christian of Denmark, as well as third cousins through Queen Victoria. The two met in the 1930s and exchanged love letters for over a decade before getting married in their mid-20s. The wedding was not without controversy, however. He was foreign-born, had no good financial standing, and had sisters that had married Germans who had Nazi ties. The stats were not a good look for the upcoming royal family of England. Oddly enough, though, the families didn't care much about the cousin connections. In fact, their great-grandmother married her first cousin too. Number 8. Saddam Hussein and Sajida Telfa. Before we talk about this ruthless dictator, take a moment to subscribe to Zero to Hero so you can always know about our newest content. Don't forget to like this video, and it's also very important to click that little notification bell. As a ruthless dictator, it shouldn't be all that surprising that Saddam Hussein married a cousin. Usually, dictators can marry whomever they want, and sometimes even have multiple wives, like he did. So eventually, you'll marry a cousin, right? Hussein is famous for leading the country of Iraq from 1979 through 2003, as well as fighting against the US in the Gulf War and Iraq War. What many don't know is that he married his first cousin. While it was technically an arranged marriage, Saddam Hussein and Sajida Telfa wed in 1963, years after their families set them to be married. She was the daughter of Saddam's uncle, making them first cousins, as close as you can get. Even creepier, it is said that the two were raised very close to one another, almost like siblings. Despite all of this, they even had 5 children together. But then again, he was a dictator, so it was easy to get whatever he wanted, no matter how odd. Number 7. Christopher Robin Milne and Leslie de Selincourt. Even the son of a world-famous author chose to marry within his own family. Christopher Robin Milne was the son of A.A. Milne, the man who wrote the Pooh Bear books. His son was the namesake for the human character in the books as well. While Christopher did not have a big claim to fame himself, he is notable for marrying his first cousin in 1948. Leslie de Selincourt was a first cousin to Milne, and the two married in 1948 after years of a close relationship. All accounts say that the marriage was a good one. It was just a bit odd to marry that close in the family. Today, most nations will not allow a marriage of first cousins, but in 1948 England, it was perfectly fine. The couple stayed together for decades until his death in 1996. Number 6. Rudy Giuliani and Regina Pierogi. Rudy Giuliani's claim to fame comes from his decades of political leadership, serving as the United States Assistant Attorney General in the 1980s and then later as the mayor of New York City from 1993 to 2001. He has always been lauded for his leadership during the 9/11 attacks and is more recently famous for running for president. Oh, and he also married his cousin. In 1968, Giuliani married Regina Pierogi, his second cousin once removed. They actually grew up relatively close, having visited each other regularly as kids. No one can confirm if they knew exactly how close they were, but nonetheless, they got married and stayed together until 1982. Rumor has it that they found out they were close cousins and decided to split. Number 5. Franklin Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt is one of America's most well-known and well-respected presidents. His leadership through World War II helped the country develop into the prosperous country it is today. The only president to technically be elected 4 times, FDR was generally loved by all throughout the country, including his 5th cousin once removed. Eleanor Roosevelt and FDR got married in 1914, well before his political career took off. The two were acquaintances as kids, and she was the niece of Teddy Roosevelt, so she was already in the bloodline of presidents. While the 5th cousin connection didn't bother them at all, his infidelity rightly did. When Eleanor found out that Franklin had relations with his secretary, Lucy Mercer, in the 20s, the marriage basically ended. But they continued to stay together on paper for political image. Number 4. Thomas Jefferson and Martha Wells. Even one of the founding fathers kept it in the family when he decided to get married. Thomas Jefferson, 3rd President of the United States, ambassador to France, and famed for his decades of service to the country, married a cousin. Although, seeing as we now know that he has had many relationships, including one with a slave he owned, this shouldn't be too surprising after all. Martha Wells was Jefferson's 3rd cousin. They had 6 kids together, but 2 of them died very young. The 2 were married for a decade, and by most accounts, it was the happiest marriage he had, which seems a bit odd for cousins. Records speak of Jefferson being deeply in love with Wells, and seeming lost for a while after her death in 1782. Number 3. Albert Einstein and Elsa Lowenthal. Keeping it in the family is not exclusive to the famous leaders or celebrities of the world. Even geniuses take part in the act. Famed physicist Albert Einstein, known for his theory of relativity and scientific genius in many other areas, ended up marrying one of his related cousins. In 1919, Einstein wed the love of his life, Elsa Lowenthal. They started their relationship in 1912 when both were still in Europe and Albert was not famous yet. As it turned out, they were first cousins on his mother's side and second cousins on his father's side. That means she had the Einstein name in her history already. Although completely unknown, their wedding may have been the first opportunity in history for someone to shout out the insult, "Way to go, Einstein." Number 2. H.G. Wells and Isabel Mary Wells. Actors, presidents, and scientists have all been known to marry within the family, and authors have done it too. H.G. Wells, author of The Island of Dr. Moreau, The War of the Worlds, and many other classic novels, has been an icon of American culture. His books have been read by millions and made into films countless times. What many may not know is that he married his first cousin in 1891. Isabel Mary Wells was H.G.'s first cousin, but that didn't bother them one bit. The two fell in love and got married. Although the marriage only lasted for a short 3-year span, in 1894 the couple broke up. Did they feel bad about being related and married? Nope, he just fell in love with one of his students. Number 1. Jerry Lee Lewis and Myra Gale Brown. Tons of great music came out of the 1950s, including work from Jerry Lee Lewis. Songs like Great Balls of Fire, Good Golly Miss Molly, and Chantilly Lace are still known today. And Lewis was at the top of his game in the 50s. Unfortunately, his notoriety did not last as long as it could have, and it was mainly due to backlash over his interesting choice of a wife. Lewis married his first cousin. Myra Gale Brown and Lewis got married in 1957 and stayed together until 1970, having 2 kids together. While other celebrities had married close in their family, few famous first cousins had been married, especially in the US in the 1950s, which was a bit too close for comfort for many fans. In addition to this, he was in his early 20s and she was only 13 at the time. I guess laws were a lot different back then. Lewis went on to have 7 wives in his life, marrying Judith Brown in 2012, and he is still alive today at 82 years old. However, after his marriage to his 13-year-old first cousin, his career was never the same. What do you think about these famous cousins marrying one another? Let us know in the comments below and take care.